guys and girls are falling victim.
Right.
Oh
Where
my
they had to
goodness.
take their money like 2,000, 3,000. They got
From a job application.
Oh yeah.
And then when I saw the amount on the offer letter, I was like, "There's no way!"
Are
Like,
y'all
I was like,
I took the Jerry twice.
"Oh yeah,
Bro.
no. Couldn't be me. I didn't take
See,
it once."
that thing is a different level. Like,
real?
bro, like you would think you're dumb. Literally.
Am I smart?
Every like certification, I just put it on my resume, but I said pursue it. So I'm still hitting
Like
those
you're a
keywords,
Canadian.
Yeah, okay,
without
okay.
saying
Good
I have
job.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta get creative. If you want a job.
Honestly.
Oh yeah.
You really do.
That's what I have now,
Sure.
like my
Yes.
resume now, because I'm studying for my CCNA and my CISSP.
Oh.
Already on my resume. Entry level, I would say don't take anything less than 80.
Okay.
Truthfully, like starting out.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on where you live and the size.
But
of the
don't take
company,
anything less than
honestly.
80,000.
Anything less than 80,
Okay.
especially in today's economy.
Don't do that.
I think 80 is the bare minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least base salary. You can negotiate stock. You can negotiate your bonus and all that. But like,
Just don't.
80 is,
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't take 80 today, but
If you were starting out, that's
Yeah.
a good place to start.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Hacker Proof family. It's your girl V, and I'm back again with another video with the Hacker Proof team. Today we have a special guest in the building, all the way from Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
We have a fine babe who's a software engineer, all the way from ATL, Georgia. Give it up for Fanta. All right, so Fanta.
Yeah.
To start off, how are you feeling? Like the journey here, getting to Houston, like
I love Houston. So first
You
of
do?
all, yes, I love Houston. I wish I could move here for real.
are you serious?
Deadass.
Okay, explain why. Because I know like
Um,
okay, go ahead.
When I graduated, I had a job offer out here, so I came interviewed and stuff, but
Oh,
they just
wow.
weren't paying enough for me to move here.
Oh.
But you know how like when you're so close to something and then you just don't get it. And so it's just in the back of your mind. So
Like,
every
one
now
day,
and
one
then I'm
day,
like, I should
yeah.
move to Houston. I get that itch. Like
Shoot.
But yeah. No, I
We're
love
ready
it
for
here.
you. Whenever you're ready, we're ready for
My
you.
Yep.
next remote
You
job.
got a family here right now, so
No, for
Yes,
real.
exactly.
So I'm
So
happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you too, and I'm glad you came. I'm glad Houston is something that a city that you really like. But in terms of like your career, your journey, let the people know you're a software engineer right now, and we want to know about your journey, how you got into here, how it is for you. Like, let the people know.
Yeah, so I'm still entry level. I've only been in the industry for just about 2 years almost. And I've done a lot of different things. So that's the biggest key is my title right now is software engineer, but every company does things differently.
Yeah.
So when I first got hired on, I was a system admin. I was doing work in Azure GovCloud. And then the company transitioned me into a GRC role where I had to
wow.
obtain my CMMC CP, which means that you can assess an organization for all 110 controls within this 800, 171. So,
Oh, wow.
so I'm in that
Pretty
weird
dope.
spot where I'm like technical and not technical.
Yeah.
And then my new company, we got like a new director who came in and he was like, I don't like your titles. He gave everyone a software engineer title. I don't really, write code.
Yeah.
But I would say if I picked my title, I'd be more of like a junior network engineer. That's kind of what I do.
Interesting.
So yeah, I work on the DNS side of things. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I've done a lot of
well-rounded.
different things,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's hard when you're entry level too because you're trying to pick. You have to niche down at some point. But it's like, I've done this, I've done that.
I
I've
mean,
done
why
that.
not? Why
Like,
not?
so which one do I pick to move forward?
Why not?
Yeah.
I say you're
That's a
on the right track, honestly. The ability to go to all the non-technical and the technical route. A lot of people I know for me, I get scared about the
Yeah.
technical route. So I think that's really cool. That you
That's
were
good.
able to
That's
maneuver,
good.
yeah.
So like when you say like junior like engineer, I'm thinking like okay, you're going to the routers and the switches and doing all that stuff. You do that, or you just do the DNS public facing stuff.
Yeah, public facing mostly, rotating certificates, encryption, and a lot of IAM.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot
Okay.
of IAM auditing as of now for
Mm.
some reason. I don't know why. When you work for a very, very big company, you know, they're not really good at cleaning up stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So I get
gotcha.
the
Yeah.
stuff that the
Okay.
seniors don't want to do.
Yeah.
So right now I just have a huge IAM project where I'm like looking through all these names and like trying to deactivate accounts, making groups for
Oh.
people.
Are you serious? Is it like user
It's a
access
lot.
reviews
Yeah,
or
pretty
oh
much.
lord?
Oh, okay, okay,
Pretty
okay.
much. So again, it's like it's a lot of stuff. It just depends on whatever your manager doesn't want to do is what you're gonna do.
So that sums up the day to day in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like my normal consistent tasks would be like updating host name origins for different
Oh,
teams.
okay, gotcha.
I'm doing load balancer work right now.
Oh, cool.
I actually had a P1 last night.
Ooh,
I was
we
at
don't
the
like
mall.
P1s though. Trust
No,
me.
I was at the mall and they called me and they were like, "We need your help. Our deployment didn't work." So me and Remington, we had to like race back home when I was on the phone.
That's
with
what
them
she
for,
told me, yeah.
I was like, bruh. Yeah. So I know I'm like, I don't think I want to be a network engineer if I'm gonna be on call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on that on call like rotation before. I think it's not funny though. Like
No,
I've
it's
been waking up at
not.
3 a.m.
Like why?
Dang.
I'm like,
That's too much.
well,
But it's cool. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah,
When
it's
everything
cool.
works right, it's
but
cool.
but are there times where you go on call? Is it like once a month or how does that work?
I have to be on call. So the good thing is we know when deployments and cutovers are gonna happen.
Okay.
So those are always scheduled.
Okay.
And I work for one of the biggest companies in the world. Like so, we have teams all over the world. So a lot of the times we're doing work for China, India, Korea, Israel even. So I have to be up at weird hours.
Yeah.
Whenever their business hours,
Start.
yeah, exactly. So we have those scheduled in advance. Like the work that I was supposed to do last night, the team approved for me to do it in the morning, but they still did their cutover at night. So when it didn't work, I had to get back online, even though I already did my work part of the job. But
So you're on call 24/7.
yeah, pretty much.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Even on Sunday, Saturday?
Yep.
On call. Ooh.
If it's a change that my name is tied to, like in ITSM,
Yeah.
yes, I gotta be there.
So basically you gotta be available whenever they need you. That is insane.
Is that generally how it is, or just because of the company that you work for and your team structure?
I think a little bit of both. A lot of the times, because I am lower level, I'm not doing that much, but I have to be accountable for the work that I am, like my team pretty much. So
Yeah.
there's that, and then I think you have to be available, like just in case your team lead isn't there. Then you also have to know the contacts to carry on the case and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
You keep saying you're low level, but I think you're actually pretty high up there with what you're doing. Honestly, like, is this the normal entry level position, or because I have a friend that works in network engineering, but she works for another big company, but they have like set schedules. She knows when she's on, she knows when she's off, but she's also troubleshooting things around the world as well. But like, is it? That's why I was asking you. Is it just because it's your company that it's so rigorous for an entry level position? Or is this generally how it is?
Yes. So, two things. So when I worked for my first company, I really wasn't doing much. The kind of work that I did was stuff that I wanted to take on. I kind of just saw gaps, and I was like, hey, like, train me in this, train me in that. Like, because it was slower pace. It was a big company, too, but I was in the federal side, so wasn't that busy. It's a lot slower work. But for the company that I work for now, like, Fortune 5 company, they're huge. And right now, like, a lot of large corporations are doing a salary reset. So they're getting rid of their, like level 8s, level 9s. And so the work trickles down. So the work that I'm doing, like the work that I do on my team, there's only 2 of us. Actually.
Yeah, so that's why all the
But
work
we
is
need,
ending
like,
on
6
you.
people.
Yeah,
For real, for
okay.
real. So yeah.
That makes sense.
For the company that I work for, I'm doing a lot, and that's my expectation.
Yeah.
And their new college hire track too, they pay you a lot. It's like one of
nice.
the few new college entry level tracks that pay you 6 figures. So
Oh,
there's
gotcha.
no, oh, you're new, you're out of college. No.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
allowed
That's
to
good.
tell the people who you work for, or like how they
I
can, or like how do you get to work for a Fortune 500 and like land such a great position?
honestly, it's luck. Um, for me, it's
No,
luck
you need it.
because
You need it for sure.
I'm not very like social. Not I socialize
Yeah.
when I need to, like right now. But I'm someone that keeps to myself. Like I've just been
Yeah.
a shy kid growing up, so I don't really have connections. Right, but I see stuff and I apply.
Okay.
When I
See
get
where-
the interview, I put it on. I'm the best
Yeah.
candidate.
Yeah.
But I don't have connections. Like a lot of my friends, like
wow.
have jobs lined up as soon as they're done with college.
Oh,
Like
That's
their uncles,
yeah.
their dads, their moms got this.
They got
Yeah.
I didn't really have that, so it was just luck. Like I saw
Yeah.
programs, I applied. But I will say I've had like the weirdest luck with all of the jobs that I've had is that I've never had an interview.
Are you serious?
Like we'll schedule an interview. They'll ask me like one question. And they'll be like, okay, cool. We'll get back in contact with you.
Wow.
And then I get an offer.
What kind of
wow.
favor is
with
this?
No, for real.
This is favor. Like,
Yeah, but
This
but
is-
that's still an interview though, right? Because like, do you know why I say that is because I've seen some jobs
Yeah.
where they'll send you the questions and tell you, send the answers back.
Yeah.
That's like coding.
Those
Yeah.
are scams though.
Those are software developer like.
Those
Yeah,
those.
no,
That's
but those are
crazy.
scams though.
You think so?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, because I've seen some. One of my friends, he got the a Scrum Master job.
Right.
So they sent him the questions. I told him to send the answers back.
Yeah.
He sent the answers back. I was like, oh yeah, you got the job. Come on, man.
That's crazy.
So basically, like, he told me, and I did my investigation and stuff.
Yeah.
And I found out that that guy was a scam. He doesn't work with the company and stuff like that.
He was just trying to solve a problem.
It was what the problem. It was trying to get his data.
That's what,
He
yeah.
was trying
So
to get
he's
his
like, oh, you got the
his
job.
socials and stuff.
Fill out the
bro.
form and
Fill
you
out the
give them your address, your social
Bro.
security,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
bank
yeah.
account
Your
number
bank-
for direct
For
deposit.
direct deposit.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Can
you.
be.
That's
But at some point during the application, though, you got to figure out like if something looks fishy. I feel like I will.
It's-
Yeah, I mean,
I feel
we
like
will,
when
but
you're
some people
doing-
might
Some
not.
people might not. Yeah.
I mean, but like when you're like trying to get a job, you just
mean-
like,
when you're doing hundreds of
applications,
man, you
yeah.
don't even care at some
You
point.
just, oh, I got the job, cool.
Cool. Let's get it. How much are you paying
When's
me?
the next pay?
Like, what's my start date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even care to do the due diligence sometimes.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, so
Yeah.
guys beware. I didn't know there were scams like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's happening
know
though,
there
and like you know what's crazy? Guys and girls are falling victim.
Right.
Oh
Where
my
they had
goodness.
to take their money like 2,000, 3,000. They got
From a job application.
Oh yeah, it's happening out there.
Yeah. No,
Oh my
that
goodness.
hasn't happened to me yet, but I get a lot of like random texts, like from, I don't even know what these numbers are, but they'll send an iMessage
You know
and they'll be
them.
like, "Hi, we represent Amazon.
Oh,
we have a
yeah.
job that pays $1,500 a week. If you want more details, message us on WhatsApp." I'm like,
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
Come on.
I get-
Well,
I get those all
Amazon,
day.
be so for real.
like, get out of here.
Sometimes it's just the context clues. Like, WhatsApp?
Like WhatsApp? No.
That's
After
They
you
could have tried
texted
harder.
me-
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna scam on behalf of Amazon, you gotta come a little harder than that.
Yeah.
WhatsApp?
Somebody's gonna fall
WhatsApp.
for it. Though. Somebody gonna fall for it.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
goodness. But that's so cool. So you just apply and then you got the
Yes,
interview and
yeah, so my first job, the CTO called me and he's like, can you tell me, well, okay, I was always transparent, number one. So
Okay.
at the time I was like, I know nothing about cybersecurity, but I'm 8 weeks into my master's program.
Yeah.
This is what I know, right? And he was like, when you get on the internet and, in the URL bar, when you want to look something up, can you tell me about like the protocols involved with your search? And I was like, oh gosh. And I was so lucky because I was just in my networking class. So I was like, okay, 3-way handshake, TCP. So I was just trying to, go off. I was like, if it's HTTPS, is port.
Yeah. It's
And he was
443.
like, yeah. And he was like, okay. He said, we're going to interview other candidates and then we'll let you know.
I know.
But this position I applied for required 10 years of experience.
hey.
Oh.
I didn't even, when he called me, he was like, you applied. And I was like, hold on. And I went through my emails. I didn't even remember
Yeah.
what job
Be
it
like that.
was. And then, the next day he called me. He's like, okay, yeah, we're going to hire you.
Wow.
And I was like-
That's
Right there, bro.
amazing.
And I was
That's
like,
great, though.
I was like, we didn't even have an interview. And he's like, we'll train you.
Wow,
was
they
like,
probably just
wow.
loved your
That's fun.
genuine.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Because
amazing.
I was like a year and a half like out of like college, like just applying. Like I was
Yes.
desperate for money.
Man.
You are
Like,
blessed.
I feel
Yes,
like
Oh
that's
my
favor.
God.
That's God's grace.
yo,
That's
I
dope.
was just like, all
Honestly.
right, cool. And then
That's amazing.
they were like, can you come in tomorrow
What?
to meet the team? So I
That's
went
crazy.
in, and it's just like a room of network engineers, and
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
I'm the only person that looks like me, and it's just a bunch of old like
Yeah.
white dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Hi, everybody.
and they're just looking at me, and I'm looking at them.
Wow, what
That's a blessing,
a
though.
blessing.
That was crazy.
What a blessing.
And then the second job, like, it was a panel interview. So I applied for the college track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, they wanted to do like a video interview, but then I guess the one I selected didn't have competition. So they were like, we'll just fast track you to the final interview.
Wow.
The final interview was a panel interview. It was like 5 managers who like needed a person, like a
All 5 of them needed one.
Somebody on the
analyst.
team.
yeah, so it was a panel interview. I introduced myself. I was like, this is what I studied. But they all knew each other, right? So they were talking the whole time. I didn't really, behavioral questions.
Mhm.
I wasn't talking much, but I was
Really?
like,
It was like
just
a work
trying to seem like
meeting.
I was a
Wow.
part of,
Yeah.
And then a few days later, like the
Wow.
manager that wanted me, I guess, like called me, and then she was
That
like,
is
yeah,
That's
we'll send you an offer.
amazing.
And I was like, oh, cool. And then when I saw the amount on the offer letter, I was like, there's no way. I was like, really? Like, yeah.
Wow,
It'd be
look
like
at
that.
Grace.
It'd be like that.
That's
So,
such a testimony.
It's been luck, man. It's really been luck.
Wow, that's
That's
such a
good, that's
testimony.
Yeah.
There's got to be some preparation though for luck to be there. I feel like
Yeah.
So let's take it back to college. Like, what was your background like?
So I studied computer engineering and poli-sci because my dream was to, you're African, right? So
Right,
it's
code.
engineer, lawyer, doctor.
Boom.
Mhm.
They
Yep.
don't want to hear
The track.
anything else. So I was like, all right, I'll go to law school. But I liked tech. And at the time, I wanted to be an engineer.
Mhm.
But my sophomore year, the pandemic hit.
Mm.
And then by the end of it, I was like, I don't really want to be an
Engineer
engineer.
anymore.
But I was like, okay, we'll go to law school because
Mhm.
I wanted to study IP. I want to do intellectual property.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good
And-
sector.
Yeah, and you need a
Mhm.
STEM background to be able to like understand patents and design,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I got waitlisted to the law schools that I applied to. So I was like, all right, what's next? Because I spent all this time studying for my LSAT. And my student loans are gonna be due soon,
Yeah,
coming out
like,
of
I
the
need
grace
plan
period. So I was
B.
like, I need to
plan B
do
ASAP.
something.
Mhm.
I wasn't trying to study for another standardized test. I was just burnt out at that point.
I understand.
So I found my online cybersecurity program from the school I graduated
Yeah.
from, West Virginia, and that's how I'm here now. Yeah, didn't even have to take the GRE, nothing.
Oh,
So-
wow.
See, I took the GRE twice.
Oh, yeah,
Bro.
no. Couldn't be me. I didn't take
See,
it once.
that thing is a different level. Like,
real?
bro, like you would think you're dumb. Literally.
Am I smart? How did I
No,
even
I've
graduate?
I've seen
You
the
think you're
GRE,
dumb.
the GMAT. I was like, I was like, I'm not doing this.
Are you serious?
Oh,
I was
yeah.
considering like going to like business school, and I'm probably gonna have to take a standardized test at this point.
Nah,
The
there's a
GMAT
lot of
is just-
programs now that don't require it.
You know.
I would stick with that, honestly, online
Okay.
school, because I didn't want to. I was like, I want to make money. Like, I'm tired of being in school for real. So like,
Mhm.
I didn't want to go to an in-person program anymore. I
Honestly.
wasn't trying to move again. I
Yes.
wasn't trying to, I was just like, I need to do online stuff, and it worked out for me.
That's
So,
amazing. Did you have to
yeah.
do any certifications?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so my program was accelerated. It was 1 year. So every 8 weeks, you have a new set of classes,
Okay.
and each class is tied to a certification.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So
That's very
my
convenient.
first 2 classes was the CISA and
Oh,
Network
wow.
Plus. So I took
okay.
Network Plus. CISA didn't understand it. And then the next 2 classes were, I think, Enterprise Architecture and then
Mhm.
Machine Learning. It was like an
Oh,
AI
nice.
class. So we did AI projects. It was
Mhm.
really fun. There wasn't a cert for that one, but we use a lot of we use Metasploit, Nessus. It was really cool. So that was a good class. And then you have an IT/OT class, and then you have a secure software engineering class that's like the CSSLP or something, whatever it is, by IC squared. Yeah, I was gonna say Isaac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So each class is take the class, and then if you take the exam by the end of the class, then you'll pass the class. So yeah.
And then you take the cert after the semester or the 8 weeks is over.
Oh, I misspoke. So it's designed to help you pass. So if you take the cert before the class ends, then you pass the class. If not, then you have to take the final.
Yeah.
So, but each class was tied to a cert, and that's what I really loved.
Cool.
That's amazing. Yeah,
What
by the
school
time
is
you're
it?
done, you've racked up everything.
Yeah.
What school is it?
West Virginia University.
Oh, WGU, right?
No.
Oh, okay,
That's Western Government.
that's
Yeah.
my bad.
They're very
I'm
similar.
like,
WGU, WVU.
yeah, because I think WGU does kind of the same thing,
Like
right?
online
They
kind of,
put
Yeah, each
certifications
class
in your
is
That's the way
much
to go,
cheaper.
though.
If I had known about that one, I would have did that.
Oh yeah. So would you say? I mean, and of course, I know you said it was all luck, right? But
Yeah.
but would you say your certs were a big part of you getting this job?
I didn't have any certs when I got the job. Actually, I took the certs a couple weeks after.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to find the way.
Purely grace.
Pure luck. I developed a student resume, and I was like, I need to figure out a way to tell people what I know.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know anything. So I took my first 2 classes, which was the auditing class, CISA class, and the Network Plus class. And all the homework and projects that we did in that, I put on my student resume. So that's how
that's a good way
That's
to
usually
do
what
it.
they
Yeah.
recommend.
Yeah. And every certification, I just put it on my resume, but I said pursuant. So I'm still hitting those keywords. Without saying
Good
I have
job.
it.
Yeah.
You got to get creative when
Honestly.
you want a job.
Oh yeah,
You really do.
That's what I have now,
Sure.
my resume now, because I'm studying for my CCNA and my CISSP.
Oh.
Already on my resume, pursue it. Okay,
That's
because
good.
whenever I get them, but you're gonna know that I'm studying for it now.
So put it on the resume, but just say I'm pursuing it. I'm a candidate.
Oh,
That's
really?
it.
What I usually do, I put it and I put
I never
IP
even.
next to
You
it.
put what?
In progress.
In progress,
Oh.
yep.
To be honest, I never even put that. I just put it there.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't even ask
They
for
don't
it.
Yeah,
ask.
they don't ask
especially
for it.
They don't ask.
during the interview, if you
Yeah.
can come in and just talk the talk, right? They're not gonna, when you get the job, not gonna ask you for it for the most part. But
No.
obviously, you want to have it in case they do. But
Yeah.
Yeah, and
might
the
get away with it.
recruiters half the time they don't even know what the certs are.
Are you serious?
no,
They don't. I've been applying recently for a lot of CCP roles, in the CMMC space, because I have that cert, and
Yeah.
that's where I want to go. And I'm getting interviews, and the recruiters are asking me about so with the cert, there's a CCP and a CCA, which is CMMC certified professional, and then certified assessor. So to be an assessor, you have to have had 3 assessments as a CCP, right?
Okay.
I'm talking to a recruiter, and she's like, when are you getting your CCA? And I'm like, well, your company has to sponsor you for a CCA. So it's this is a CCP role that I applied to. You have my resume, and you're asking me when I'm getting my
So she
CCA.
should have done the math to know that.
She should have known that.
Yeah.
If you're screening for candidates for a CCP consultant role, you should have.
No.
And you're asking me when I plan on getting my CCA. It's if you
don't.
hire me, you're paying for that.
Exactly.
I can't. So it's kind of that made me realize, I was these people
Don't know nothing.
about. Yeah.
Maybe she didn't. She also probably didn't do the context clues, the knowledge behind it, and also recruiters are recruiters. They're not technical people that are firing for the. It's not the the manager of the role that's doing the questions. So they're just doing. Maybe the manager might ask, but from what I've seen, what I hear from you guys is nobody asked, and that's
Yeah,
weird.
Nobody really asks.
Yeah.
I mean, they might go check it out themselves, maybe on your LinkedIn or
on
something.
LinkedIn because of the link.
Yeah.
on
Because of
there.
LinkedIn, but I don't think they really
Nobody
say,
will.
bring the certificate. Yeah, bring
My
the
LinkedIn
certificate
is
or
2 years
something.
out of date. I haven't updated anything on there. No, and then I also had another recruiter ask me if my certification was valid, and I was like, this is like the CCP. You're listed on the marketplace as like a certified professional.
Okay.
So it's like if you knew
She would have went and
about
did the
that,
1,
you
2,
could have
and
just
2.
researched. She was like,
Researched
"Can you
it,
send
yeah.
me your certification number?" And I was like, "You don't get one for that. You're just listed in the
In the
database."
database, yeah.
So that made me realize like they just have one recruiter for like all the roles.
Exactly.
They do.
Yeah, for the
And
most part.
understand
It's a
it.
disconnect because I could be so qualified for a role, but if my resume doesn't beat the AI system, they're never gonna see my resume.
That's insane.
And that's
Yeah. And
they
that's
don't
the
know.
game,
They don't know
actually.
what's on
That's the
there.
game,
Yeah, that's the game,
Yeah, the
actually.
game is the game for real, man.
So
Game
it's
is
better
the
to
game.
play the game
Mm.
than to get rigged by it,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's game.
For real. And okay, so that's the work side of things. But are you? I heard you're really big on TikTok. I don't know
Not
if
big
I'm
on
boosting you
TikTok.
or what it is. But are you like a tech content creator, or are you generally a content creator? And if you are, like, what's the value add in your life? How has that been for you?
You know, it's honestly been so good. Like
That's
because,
amazing.
Yeah, like I first started making content. Like I was doing lifestyle stuff, like home stuff, just documenting my move from the DMV to Atlanta. And then like I had one viral video, and then people were like, "What do you do? What do you do?" And then that's how I started making cybersecurity content.
Oh, nice.
Because I mean, the space, people don't have knowledge, visibility
Yeah.
into this space at all. So I was like, all right, everything that I just learned in my master's program, I'm gonna give out for free.
That's
So
amazing.
That's what I've been doing, and it's opened a lot of doors, like meeting people like you guys.
Yeah.
And then also working with like huge companies, like working with CompTIA, TryHackMe.
That's
Like,
amazing.
That's great.
never
That's
in
cool.
my life
What?
would I like CompTIA knows my name. That's crazy.
What?
Wow.
Insane.
That's tough.
That's a
That's
flex.
crazy.
That's a flex.
I'm just like,
That's a flex.
but I just do it because I'm like,
You just love
people
it.
need to,
Wow.
yeah, people need like if,
Yes.
for an industry. There's so many domains in cybersecurity
There
too,
is.
because everybody thinks it's just a SOC role
Oh,
or a
yeah.
network engineer. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Of
there's
course.
so much you can do.
It's crazy.
like, and I'm just like, I went through it. I didn't know what I was doing, and I still don't know what I'm doing for real. But I'm helping people like at least get started. Like I talk
Yeah.
to people, I'm like, if you want to spend money, go to this school,
Okay.
do that boot camp. Or you don't have to. These are the YouTubers that give you projects for free. This
Yeah.
is how you should apply. This is how you should do that. Like, because nobody did that for me. I had to figure that out. So
Yeah.
I now have an audience that
You can
know,
share that
needs
knowledge
Share
with,
that,
passing
yeah.
it forward.
Pretty much. That's just all that's what I do.
Passing it forward. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the most challenging part of your work is so far?
My work.
Yeah, like everything you've seen and done. What's been the toughest?
Like in my career, you mean?
Like just like your current job right now.
oh,
Like,
my job.
hmm
I would just say the learning curve.
Yeah.
And then like being in a corporate setting when you're not like, I'm from here, but I'm not
Yeah.
from here, right? Like my parents barely worked corporate,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just learning to play the corporate politics. I think is harder than the job itself.
Yeah.
You quickly realize like these senior level people, like especially I'm someone who's like, oh, I want to be CISO, I want to be CTO. It's not even what you know, it's who you know. Like
Yeah.
everybody
Sincerely.
that I've seen in those positions,
Sincerely.
they're the C-suite. They're all buddies with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get there, you have to be their friend. It's not even about.
So
like,
that's just the game.
That's
that's
really
just
it.
the
Yeah.
game.
That's
really
just
it.
That's
be
the
friends
hard part. Is you have
with
to
the right
be
people.
fake. You have to
Yeah.
be fake to get where you want to get to. And I
Fake it
hate
till you
that.
make it.
I hate that.
It takes too much energy being fake sometimes.
It's
honestly.
too much. Yeah.
Especially if you're a person that values genuine connections, genuine relationships. I want to get on a call and not have to think too hard about what I'm going to say
Seriously.
and who I'm going to be. I want to just be free and we can actually just talk from our brains, not from our pre-scripted,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
weird
for sure.
corporate.
Weird corporate
Robotic.
jargon.
Yep.
Like who talks
I
like this?
swear.
And number two, okay.
Like, this is
Another
crazy.
Honestly.
no, because I feel like growing up, they really tried to tell us like, you have to act this way and go
Man, dress this way.
The way I've seen white men curse each other out in
Oh,
boardrooms
yeah.
and then be like, okay, let's go to happy hour.
Yeah.
Me? No.
Oh.
Girl, that's
I
your
would be
first and last
crying.
meeting.
There's no way. But like, it goes back to everything you've been conditioned to think is like, you gotta be professional. You
Gotta be,
can't say
yeah,
this, you can't say that, can't wear this, can't wear that. It's not like that.
It's
not
really
like
not.
that.
That's how you keep yourself shilled.
It's not like that.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah.
they like you, they'll promote you.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
facts.
that's it.
I do know, like, speaking about the fake, or like being fake, right? I remember my current job, the like, interview, right? This white man were cracking jokes.
Yeah.
It wasn't even funny. I was laughing, bro.
That's it.
Bro, I was like,
No, that's
I was
the
just
best
laughing,
I've
like,
ever heard.
do you get what I'm saying? So because like I like kind of had to be in
You
that
want to
space,
bond
yeah,
and
bond, that kind of
relate with
thing.
people, yeah.
Wow, so
You want to bond and relate.
see, like what I've like what I've noticed that no matter your skills, right? They want a lively person that can
Exactly.
crack jokes.
Yeah,
that can,
exactly.
yeah,
Enjoy their
they don't want like
company.
someone that's too serious.
That
They don't want
connection,
that. So
yeah.
even if you got like all the skills and you're too serious,
You
yeah.
just weird.
I'm telling you, because it's awkward. Have y'all ever worked with
It's
a
so-
too
it's
serious
awkward.
person on a
Yeah.
call?
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
They make it
what do I
hard.
do? They're serious.
Like, bro,
You're
chill
serious
out.
back.
It makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
It
Make
makes
it
you
hard.
so uncomfortable. Like, yeah, you know what you're dreading the call with them because it's like,
Because it's just.
I know it's going to be unbearable.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
a good balance of
course.
personal and skill set. Yeah.
So I got one more question for you, right?
Okay.
Going back to you being on call, right? And I know like you have one. Can you tell us about any frustrating moment or funny moment you've had being on call? Maybe like sometimes you were not by your laptop when they called you.
Yeah,
all
no, you
that.
have to be.
Have you ever been in that kind of like in a situation?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I take the pressure off of myself. Like, if somebody calls me and I don't pick up, I get back to them and like, oh, sorry, I was in the bathroom or eating or something. Like,
You don't let it stress you.
I'm not too worried about that. In P1 calls, though, I will say, like, the biggest frustration for me is that, like, communication barrier with some of the senior level
of
people.
course.
Like, when something goes wrong and they try to explain a problem to you, I'm like, I don't understand that. But this is what I did. This is what I did, and this is how I think I can fix what you're saying. But then they keep like circling back and like saying the same stuff
same
that you're
stuff,
not
yeah.
understanding. So you just gotta like, I don't know. I just wait there. I'm like, okay, until somebody says something else, because I'm like, I don't know how to keep repeating.
Keep this going.
Yeah.
Have you ever like gone off on someone?
Have I ever gone off?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I would never.
Why can't we have you?
But,
I mean, to be honest, like one time I got caught up at like I think it was 2 a.m. right, and I was asleep. And the call, like the guy that called me, right, it wasn't even in my space. The problem wasn't something that was meant to be sent to me.
And they called you.
And he kept talking like so loud, like, bro, like, why you sleeping? I'm like,
You cannot be serious.
Why you sleeping is
right
crazy.
now.
he said,
Why you
on
sleeping
my
is
phone?
crazy.
I'm like,
Crazy.
he just kept talking like, oh, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You got to check this out. You got to check this out. Okay. I
You
wake
had
up,
every reason.
I go to my laptop, I check it out. And I'm like, bro, this is not even meant to come to me.
Oh no.
He started
Yeah, no, I would
apologizing.
be-
I just like, hung up on him. I'm like, bro, I got to go back to bed.
Like 2 a.m. in the morning?
Oh,
That's very inconsiderate.
That's a lot.
That's
being
that's
on
rough.
call is like one of the craziest things, man. I'm
It's
telling
tough.
you. But
Do you feel like the pay though is worth the 24/7? Like
Yeah.
it's worth it? Okay. I mean,
I can't even lie.
if it's worth it.
Because, I mean, you really only have an emergency. Like, most emergencies are during the day. I would say. Like, very rarely, like, if you're working with the international team, then you might have an issue. But most of the deployments, at least my work part of the portion, is done in my normal day-to-day. So
Oh, okay. So it's not that
and
bad.
we make sure to do a lot of testing. We do spoof testing. We have a staging network and our production network.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of the times, like my team lead and I were very strict about that. It's like, okay, we did our changes for you. Test, and if it works, cool. You guys can do your part of the deployment, and we're done. So I feel like that's cut out a lot of the errors. The frustrating part though is that when you work with a lot of teams, these teams are so pushy. Like they will ask you to do a change for them and you're like, "Okay, cool, I did it. Can you test it?" Next day, "Can you test it? Did it work? Do we need to fix it?"
Yeah.
They'll ghost you for weeks.
Oh,
And then when their
yeah.
cutover is ready, like the cutover that I had last night that they called me over was a ticket we had open since June.
Wow.
So we
no,
did the
ma'am.
change in June, radio silence.
Hey.
And then they called us Monday and they're like, "Yeah, we have a deployment Friday night at 8 p.m. So we need to." And my team lead was like,
Are
"What
you
are
serious?
you talking about?" Like, yeah. So, and when they get like that, it's like only their work matters. Like, yeah,
Damn.
that's
Yeah.
frustrating
It
because
is.
when things don't go their way, they are harassing you, calling you nonstop. Oh my God, my team lead got chewed out by some guy the other week because he didn't even understand our vendor, right? He was just like, "You guys, this tool is broken." It wasn't even us. It was his app. Your app wasn't working. Like, why are you harassing? Like, he cursed her out, and she was like,
That's crazy. No, that's wild. I
crazy.
mean, sometimes I guess money does, provide the cushion for putting up with certain things. And that goes to my that goes to my next question is like this is and our last and final question here is, okay, so if I'm applying to be a software engineer for either Fortune 500 or just a mid-level company, what are usually the salary ranges? Like what's an acceptable salary range for somebody that wants to be a software engineer?
depends on where you live. Entry level, I would say don't take anything less than 80.
Okay.
Truthfully, like starting out.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on where you live and the size.
But
of
don't
the
take
company,
anything less than 80,000.
Anything less than 80,
Okay.
especially in today's economy.
Don't do that.
I think 80 is the bare minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least base salary. You can negotiate stock. You can negotiate your bonus and all that. But like,
Just don't.
80 is,
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't take 80 today, but
If you were starting out, that's
Yeah.
a good place to start.
yeah,
Okay.
because that's what I did when I got my first job. I got my base pay was 80, and I got 20K in stock. So
Nice.
yeah,
It paid
that
out.
was it.
Okay.
I wouldn't take $80,000 today though. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. And like you have such a vast experience, and there's just so much content that we probably might even need to do another one because this is so deep. But we're gonna wrap up here,
Okay.
and we're so grateful you came. Thank you so
Happy
much,
to be
Fanta.
here. You guys are dope.
I'm glad you had a good time.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it was just like a conversation. We were just
of
complaining
course.
about our
Honest-
industry.
Of course.
We'll drop her details in chat, her TikTok. Check her out for all the helpful things. It was me, Ugo, and Camby today. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next episode.
Bye.